What's the best first sergeant you ever had, and why? First Sergeant Johnson, who saved my military career by recognizing I was struggling with depression and personally drove me to get help instead of just processing me out like everyone expected him to do. This was at Fort Campbell in 2012 during my second deployment to Afghanistan. I'd been in the Army for 4 years and thought I had everything figured out, but this deployment was breaking me in ways I didn't understand. I started missing formations, showing up late, and my performance dropped hard. My attitude was negative, and I was constantly arguing with other soldiers over stupid things. Most first sergeants would have started paperwork to kick me out for failure to adapt. Johnson had every reason to give up on me. Instead, he called me into his office one Friday afternoon. I expected yelling or punishment, but he just asked me to sit down and talk. I tried the everything's fine line, but Johnson wasn't buying it. He'd been in long enough to recognize the signs. "Martinez," he said, "you're not the same soldier who deployed with us. Something's eating you alive." That broke me. I admitted I wasn't sleeping, couldn't focus, and felt hopeless. I even told him about the dark thoughts I'd been hiding. Most leaders would have just referred me to behavioral health, but Johnson did something different. He personally drove me to the hospital that day. He didn't drop me off either. He sat in the waiting room for hours until I finished talking to a counselor, then drove me back and checked on me daily. When rumors started that I was weak, Johnson shut them down and made it clear mental health mattered as much as physical fitness. He even adjusted my duties so I could recover while still contributing. Over time, with counseling and his steady support, I rebuilt my confidence. By the end of deployment, I was back at my best. Johnson recommended me for promotion and wrote in my eval that I'd shown resilience and growth. His leadership also inspired other soldiers to seek help. Johnson created an environment where asking for support wasn't weakness, it was strength. When I became an NCO, I carried that lesson forward. Johnson retired years later as a sergeant major, and at his ceremony, dozens of soldiers shared similar stories of how he'd saved their careers, and in some cases, their lives. The man had a gift for seeing past the surface and treating soldiers like human beings, not just ranks or numbers. The difference between a good leader and a great one is knowing when someone needs help instead of punishment. Johnson taught me that.